intelligence will help us to act more like human beings, because that's the whole thing. That's the whole key, is for us becoming the human beings we were created to be, and getting out of this 3D realm of negative ways in wars, blooming us
Mm.
up into, like the caterpillar, blooming us up into our new selves, our
Yeah.
new world, our new planet, and our new human beings with new ways of thinking and living.
In your in your time
Hmm.
with the government, were you ever did you ever I mean, did you tell anybody that
No,
did you kept your mouth shut?
yes, I did.
So
So basically, the way I see that, I was the eyes looking at them.
so you were like a alien agent, double agent.
I I know from, well, I don't think I got to it, but when I saw my two children, did I tell you I didn't
Well,
tell you?
you were telling me the story.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I witnessed my two sons being taken. Okay. So, and they were perfectly fine when we all woke up. Nothing, they didn't remember any of it because they were blacked out. But so I meditated when I got home from that trip. I meditated and asked them to please explain to me, because the fact that this wasn't just about me anymore. This involves my children. I wanted explanations. I was angry, mad, upset, the whole nine yards. And I don't pretend and say that I can call and conjure them. Plus, I would never do that. I've considered them family, and I know they're not here to impress. And I'm not here to impress anyone. I don't care what people think. So, but they did come on their time. They came, and the female gray that I'm bonded with, by the way, took me before a group of beings, and they presented me, and they were a group of elders, and these were interdimensionals from different races, representatives. And I asked them why this was happening to me and to my children. What was the purpose? What does it mean? I needed explanations. And they explained to me that before I was born, that I had made an agreement to come to earth and be part of the evolutionary process, and that when I get here, I wouldn't remember it, but they would be visiting me throughout my life, preparing me for what we're doing here today. And that's exactly what has happened. And even though at the time I was shaking my head, because I was Nancy Timms, I was a mother, I was a wife.
You didn't
I grew up in Tennessee. I live in Mississippi. My goodness, this doesn't make no sense. So I heard what they said, but it didn't connect with me at the time. And they did open up like a blue orb or a vision, and I saw myself as a interdimensional etheric looking being, and walking me through the process, and going through, and I actually witnessed myself being born and coming into the earth. And I also, you know, so throughout my life, they would come to me and say things like, because I ended up getting two divorces, fighting over kids, drama, drama, drama. And I would think, this is ridiculous. Surely this is not what I signed up for. you know, and
right, like, yeah, yeah. You telling me I picked this life?
yeah, yeah. And I'm like, this is it? Oh my gosh. And so, but then they would come to me and they would tell me, if it ever gets to be too much, you can always come home. And I'm like, what? You know, so yes, I heard it. I listened. Did it click and connect? No, it
What does
did
that
not.
mean?
So long story short, so finally throughout my life, things kept continuing and kept happening. And then finally, a little over 2 years ago, they finally gifted me a Kundalini awakening, because I was getting
Ooh.
downloads for them, but I was questioning, I can't talk all of a sudden, where this information was coming from. So they opened my subconscious up into my human conscious to help me remember, because I was an interdimensional before I came to Earth. And I have made a choice to come here and be a part of this evolutionary process to help humanity understand we are not alone in the universe, and we are beautiful beings, and we are here at a very exciting time. We all made this choice, and we're here for a reason, and it's because we're in an evolutionary process of becoming the human beings we were created to be. So through that Kundalini awakening, I was able to piece every single thing in my life, even working for the military. All this was, they pretty much instrumented all these things because I needed to experience these things. This is part of my evolution of being here on this planet. This is part of my experience. This is why I came here. And also my sons as well, especially my oldest son. They gave him a Kundalini awakening. He has all the same kind of experiences and things that I do and gets the downloads. But now, since that, I don't question what the information that they give me. Before I did. And I guess, I needed a boost or a bump in the butt, so to speak. So they did that. And it scared me to death. And I think more people will probably experience something like that. And I hope they know more about it than I did at the time, because it literally scared me to death.
I was gonna ask, as a mother, to know that your children are a part of this, because yourself is one thing,
Yeah.
but thinking about your kids being taken,
Yep.
that could be something that makes you think you're crazy.
Exactly. But here's what they told me.
Are they open about these things?
Oh yeah.
Your sons?
My son was at the symposium with
Yeah,
me.
you were telling me.
Yeah, he's big into all this stuff. And he's the one that sets up the webcam, makes the designs and all this stuff. This is a life family mission. This is our mission.
Would he be willing to talk to me one day?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that today if you want. Yeah. But
All
anyway,
right.
what I'm saying is that now I've gotten off the track.
I got you off. I got you off track. But
Yeah.
so it was all really guided for you, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah, they instigated everything and put me in the right places, because what is the best way for them to understand what it's like to be a human being? Through my eyes, through my children's eyes. We are the eyes. So not only do we come to you and talk about them to humanity, but also we talk to them about humanity. And they have given me like blue orbs to take, and I would take and represent and give like to the reptilian race or to different races. And this was earth essence. And what I'm saying is we are valuable. We are worth your efforts. We are doing our part. So this is a big deal. It is a big deal.
How
And
many more?
every day I learn more and more about this and the importance of it and what it all means. But I can tell you this, every single human being on this planet is a part of this. We all chose to be here. We are all part of this. This is not about me. This is not about the United States or any country or anybody in ufology. This is a worldwide phenomenon, and this is a worldwide deal. This is all of humanity waking up, figuring out who we truly are, our true origins, our purpose here on life. We are the generation the world and the universe has been waiting on to make the changes that we need so that we can continue on the human species for decades. Otherwise, if we stay in this realm that we're in and continue with our materialistic warlike ways, we are going to destroy ourselves or put ourselves in a very detrimental life ahead of us. But we can make these changes. We have the opportunity now, and we can have them to help us, assist us. They're not going to come down here and fix everything. We make our mistakes, we have to fix them. But as we ascend and get ourselves out of this 3D realm, I know. Remember what I was going to say to you. but they can help us. The more that we get out of this negative realm, the more that they will be able to help us. And what I was going to finish saying about how I felt about my sons being taken, sure, the human response is horrible, terrible, abduction, negative, negative. But here's the extraterrestrial perspective coming out of me, okay? Just like I made choices to come here and be on Earth, my sons made choices to come here and be on Earth. We don't, just because they're our children, they have soul contracts and make decisions too before they get here. So we have to look. That's the problem with human beings. We think about what's happening right here, right now, and what pleases us up here. They see the big picture. We have to learn to start seeing the big picture and see things from a different perspective. And it's just like they could have come and got my two sons and I would have never known. They could have done that, but they wanted me to see it. It served a higher purpose. I didn't understand it for, say, 20 years, but now I do. And now I understand completely. It all makes sense. And it was done for a reason. But at the time, 20 years ago, whatever, I didn't understand it. And I thought it was horrible. And I would have said, oh, abduction, blah, 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 demonic, da, da, da. So that's what I'm trying to let the world know.
Well,
Our perceptions has a lot to do with our programming and our level of spiritual growth and understanding of the world around us. But we are now coming to a point to where all of these things are opening up, and our levels of intelligence and awareness is changing. And we're going to finally get the answers we want. And we won't have to get it from the government. We won't have to get it from anybody. We're going to know within. We're going to learn to look within. Remember who our soul selves are. Think about how, why did I come here? What is my purpose here? Am I here just to be a game piece, or am I here to make the world a different place? And that's for humanity to decide individually. Yeah.
I want to tell you a story.
Okay.
Now, when I was younger, I had a UFO experience, but and then that's kind of what led me down this path of intrigue. I've always been the person who asked the existential questions and always wanted to know more about how are we a species that doesn't know our own origin? What happens after death? Are we alone? I've always asked these questions, and I've always, but in 2021, I lost my mother to breast cancer, and I was in the room when she departed, and I was looking at her. She was there, alive. I looked down at my phone. It started buzzing in my pocket. I remember making the conscious decision. It's not worth even grabbing, but it was like a split second. Like it was, those like quick thoughts that come into your head. So it was like that. But I looked back up, and what I saw was this ball.
Yes.
Leaving the room.
Yes.
Went out the window. I looked back, and my mother she had moved on.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what started this podcast. And I've always wanted to know.
That was her soul.
Was that her leaving her body?
Yes, it was. When we die, our soul and our consciousness, which does not reside in an organ in our body, it resides outside. And when that happens, we go back to source. We go back to where we came from. And then when we get to there, decisions are made on whatever our soul contracts were, whether we've met these contracts or if we have not. And if we have not, we can come back and try this again. If we have met these contracts, then we have choices. We can be a dolphin. We could be an extraterrestrial. We could be a rock. We could be whatever we want. And at some point, if you don't want to be in a physical form, you can stay in a non-physical etheric being. And we are immortal. When we leave this body, we are not gone. We are immortal. and it goes on and on and on. It never ends. And there's more than one universe, and there's many out there and things of this nature. And I think I told you earlier, if I didn't, I'll remind you or tell you now, they